write this book. Um, However, I have been making certain to work on this book for at least an hour every morning before work and more later if I find the time after work. Um, on my days that I don't work on my job, I do I do more work on my book than that. Sometimes I work on my book all day between research and actual typing. Oh yeah, I'm continually doing research on what I am writing to keep my mind fresh and on track. If I were to be working on my book all the time instead of only when I had the extra time to be working on it, my mind would continually be on the same track. As it is, I am always switching tracks, going in different directions. Work, home, marriage, book, etc., etc. And on top of all that, maintaining my spiritual condition to my higher power. Balance is key, and between my brain injury and multiple sclerosis, balance is not my strong suit. With my constant vertigo. Um, what drives us through life? Oh, what drives us through life? Why do some people get educated in and then get a career in one certain area? Why do people get married and stick with one partner for a lifetime? The original plan for some of us, anyway. Why do some people exercise for what seems to be an extreme amount of their time? Passion is the answer to all of these questions. If a person is passionate about a person, place, thing, activity, or situation, they are going to be excited about it. Good morning, Stephen. Um, lost my place. Oh, if I was not passionate about personal development, let me be the first to tell you that I would not be writing a book about it. Writing about my life and personal development in my life. I may not be in a financially sound space, although I am grateful for what I do have, but I am living the passionate life. Uh, I am happily married to the woman I am married to, and I want to always be passionate in love with. I was married at the time when I wrote this, um, not right now. Um, I am doing something I am passionate about, writing this book to share my story and inspire others to be passionate about their lives. My hope is that through reading my book and thinking about your own life in the terms I bring to your attention, you choose to abandon the abysmal humdrum of everyday existence and begin to join me in living what I like to call the passionate life. Um, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. She might still come on for a few minutes. Um, my guest still has not hopped on the Zoom call. Uniqueness is a condition that a lot of people, including myself, fall prey to. They think that their life and the unique circumstances of their life set them apart to the extent that nobody could possibly understand them. I will admit that at various times in my life, I have suffered from uniqueness. Thank God the condition was not terminal. I survived my traumatic brain injury and 4.5 years as a practicing alcoholic drug addict. I have been in numerous accidents that statistically should have been a lot more damaging than they were, possibly fatal. I now live with multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune disease for which there is no cure as of yet. All of the details of my life may seem very unique. I may begin to think that there is nobody who understands about a certain feeling or thought I have regarding a certain aspect of my life. But since there are over 7 billion people on this planet, I am certain that there is someone out there who has gone through the same circumstances I have and understands. Maybe there is no individual that has gone through exactly the same set of circumstances that have made up my life, but chances are very good that at least one person, if not a crowd of people, has been through what I have been through. I am friends with many recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. Quite a few people in my life have suffered brain injuries. I also have quite a number of people in my life that have multiple sclerosis. I'm not unique in these particular conditions, nor am I unique in my ways of thinking and feeling. I am confident. I am confident when I say that somewhere somebody thinks and or feels the way I do. The thinking and feeling may be in the process of being done by entirely different people, but it is being done in the same way as I would be doing it. I have no way to soundly prove this as a bona fide fact, but figuring there are over 7 billion people on this planet, I think it's safe to say the chances are good that I have a mental slash emotional twin out there somewhere. If our mindset remains along the line of thinking that we are totally unique, as opposed to being one of 7 billion, we set ourselves apart from everyone else. When we set ourselves apart from everyone else, we are alone. We may not feel like it at any given moment, but we are. People who claim they are totally unique tend to either climb up on a pedestal which holds them above others, or descend to hiding underneath the rug on the floor so they are lower than others. Either way they go with that, people are ego driven when they set themselves apart from others, either higher or lower. For the pedestal goer, the ego is driven by self importance. The ego of the floor giver is depressive. I've been to both of those places, and I am here to tell you that they are both lonely places, whereas it is not so lonely being part of the crowd. I have found that just being part of humanity, instead of being the best or the worst, is better any way I look at it. I am able to feel more love, kindness, generosity, patience, understanding, caring, and passion when I am part of as opposed to apart from. You are probably noting that I listed love and passion separately. I did this because I speak of love as in the feeling one has for another, or possibly the feeling one has for all people, while I speak of passion as a zest for life or a desire for more of what life has to offer us. Today, I choose to be a part of humanity, happy and loved, and not apart from humanity, sad and alone. Being a part of the whole, I am able to tap into the resources of the whole: love, support, cooperation, sharing. When I set myself apart from the whole, I am without those resources and leave myself to fend for myself. I choose to have the love and support of others rather than be alone today. Please forgive me if I have created the notion that uniqueness is totally a bad thing, for it is not. It is actually a very good thing when looked at in certain respects. As I said earlier, there are over 7 billion people living in the world today. If there was no uniqueness at all among people, life would be boring. There would there have to be some things which set us apart. Otherwise, it may as well be 7 billion of the same person walking the planet. And where's the fun and excitement in that? Some people sing better than others. Others drive better. Some golf better. My point is that everyone has their own talent, something they excel at, something they have a passion for. Whether you think you love to do something or you have a passion for that activity, the point is that you feel a zest for life, a fire burning within you when you are engaged in the doing it. Being fully engaged in life tends to cure uniqueness, at least I have found. Whereas I once felt depressed and I was essentially doing very little to progress in life, things are now totally different. I'm now fully engaged in life. working, buying a house, married. Okay, I was. Uh, anyway, driving a brand new smart car. Well, now I'm not driving that. I'm driving a used Mini Cooper. Um, relationships with family and friends, a clear head to think with, as opposed to the intoxicated orb I used to pack around, and a spiritual connection to God as I understand God. I probably forgot to mention one or more additional ways that I am engaged in life, but it will come to me later, and I will simply mention it at that point, because that's how my mind works. Some days I start slacking on my positivity, and that is when negativity creeps back in. But I catch it before too much time passes. I simply take note, pause, ask my creator to help guide me away from the negativity and back to the positivity, and wait until I feel it or proceed very consciously. Being positive, having a positive attitude, thinking positive thoughts, living a positive life. These are not things that were necessarily easy to do, let alone incorporate into my everyday life. As a young child, I remember being happy-go-lucky and positive about everything. Then life happened. My traumatic brain injury dramatically changed the course of my future. My drinking and doing drugs did not help the outlook. Relationships and the consequent breakups, run-ins with the police, trouble at school, and trouble at home did not help to turn my bad attitude into a good one. I have always tried to keep a positive outlook on my life, but circumstances have darkened the light I was trying to shine on it. Let me rephrase that. I have allowed, I have allowed my circumstances to darken my life, thus darkening my outlook on life. Today, I am reclaiming and taking ownership of my life. We can choose to do things like this because we are all born with the gift of free will. We are free to choose our attitude, our thoughts of what we are going to eat, our thoughts, what we are going to eat, who we are going to talk to, who we are going to be in a relationship with, and the depth of that relationship, whether or not we are going to exercise, what kind of car we are going to drive. The list goes on forever. We are free to choose whatever our heart desires. One thing we must keep in mind as we make our choices is that we must be able to live with the consequences of our choice. Every choice has consequences. Sometimes the consequences are negative, and sometimes they're positive. We must think about this when making a choice. Will this choice affect my life in a good way? If the answer was no, what good reasoning is there to choose that way? If the answer, oh, will it really matter if I opt out? Often, when we ask ourselves questions such as these, we are given the opportunity to save ourselves from negative consequences which would give us an indefinite amount of grief. Being conscious of the choices we make on a daily, hourly, or even a minute-to-minute basis is one way we can be fully engaged in life. Looking back over my life, there are definitely times I wish I would have made different choices, but I am okay with the past. I am conscious of the present, and I have a clear head with which to think about where I want to go in the future. That being said, I have touched on the three types of lives we can lead: prisoned, pleasant, or passionate. In the prisoned life, we simply make choices as they come, not really weighing out any consequences of our choices, and dealing with whatever happens to come our way, whether we like it or not. In the pleasant life, we weigh out the consequences of our choices and opt for the more positive consequences, so long as we can remain comfortable and do not have to take much action, thus staying in our pleasant life, or pleasant state. In the passionate life, we certainly weigh out the circumstances of all our choices. always opting for the more positive ones, regardless of the actions that must be taken, because we are passionate about living a positive and progressive life. Um, okay, yeah, I didn't realize, but I went to actually a little over the time that the time that I'm supposed to end my podcast or my show here. Um, Podcast, radio show, what have you. Uh, yeah, at any rate, I'm going to wrap this up and hopefully I can. Well, I'm going to have to contact my. I'll contact my guest and reschedule. Um, but yes, uh, just to get that done. Um, Next week, I have a local guest who's going to be. Don't quote me on this, but I do believe I recall he's going to be coming and being in the studio with me here at VT Radio Universal in Tacoma. And he lives locally, so he's just going to jam over here, whatever. Uh, but at any rate, yeah, we're going to, yeah, I'm going to be back here next week. The show, let's see, his name's Matthew Kelptis, that was it. And he's going to be joining me next week. You know, bringing his bringing his personal brand of to positivity and positive vibes to my show and all my viewers and listeners. With that, I guess I'll just wrap it up by stay saying, well, first of all, thank you for joining me today, and yeah, thank you very much for joining me. And remember, as always, stay kind, optimistic, and grateful. And have a phenomenal day and a phenomenal week. And I'll see you next Sunday. See you next time. And just remember, as always, uh, this show and all past shows, this show will be available later today. And all past shows, since I've been here at the radio station, are available on my YouTube channel. Um, and just my name is the name of my channel, Shane Nikolic. I yet to I've thought about changing the name, but I haven't done it yet. So at any rate, I'll just quit yammering and end the show here. And so with that, thank you once again, and have a phenomenal day, a phenomenal week. And with that, I'm out. Peace. Ciao. Later.